Hello students, hope you all are doing great. It's time for the second session of chapter 9, Diversity in Festivals and Dance. Do you remember what we have learned in the last video? Let's revise it once.
Dashera. Dashera is also known as Vijayadashmi. It is a major Hindu festival celebrated at the end of Navratri every year. Diwali or Deepavali is a festival of lights and one of the major festivals celebrated by Hindus, Jains and Sikhs. Guru Nanak Gurpurab is celebrated to mark the birth of the first Sikh Guru, Guru Nanak. Eid ul-Fitr, also called the festival of breaking the fast. It is a religious festival which is celebrated by Muslims worldwide that marks the end of the month-long dawn to sunset fasting of Ramadan. Christmas is an annual festival commemorating the birth of Jesus Christ, observed primarily on December 25th as a religious and cultural celebration among billions of people around the world. So students, we learned a lot about the religious festivals of India, isn't it? Let's take a look at some other religious festivals of India which we missed. Pongal, also referred to as Thai Pongal, is a multi-day harvest festival of South India, particularly in the Tamil community. It is observed at the start of the month Thai, according to Tamil solar calendar, and this is typically about January 14. It is dedicated to the sun god, the Surya, and corresponds to Makar Sankranti. The harvest festival, under many regional names, celebrated throughout India. The 3 days of the Pongal festival are called Bhogi Pongal, Surya Pongal and Matu Pongal. The festival is named after the ceremonial Pongal, which means to boil, overflow, and refers to the traditional dish of newly harvested rice boiled with milk and sugar or jaggery. To mark the festival, the Pongal sweet dish is prepared, first offered to the gods and goddesses, followed sometimes with an offering to cows and then shared by the family. Students, do you want to see what it looks like? The sweet dish Pongal, huh? Let me show you the image. Look at it. Looking so delicious, right? Festive celebrations include decorating cows and their horns, ritual bathing, and processions. It is traditionally an occasion for decorating rice powder based kolam artworks, offering prayers in the home, temples, getting together with family and friends, and exchange gifts to renew social bonds of solidarity. Pongal is one of the most important festivals celebrated by Tamil people in Tamil Nadu and Puducherry in India. It is also a major Tamil festival in Sri Lanka. Lohri. Lohri is a popular Punjabi winter folk festival celebrated primarily in the Punjab region. The significance and legends about the Lohri festival are many, and these link the festival to the Punjab region. Lohri marks the end of winter and is a traditional welcome of longer days and the sun's journey to the northern hemisphere by Sikhs and Hindus in the Punjab region of the Indian subcontinent. It is observed the night before Makar Sankranti, also known as Maghi, and according to the solar part of the lunisolar Bikrami calendar, and it typically falls about the same date every year, January 13. Lohri is an official restricted holiday in the state of Punjab, where the festival is celebrated by Sikhs, Hindus, and students, sometimes Muslims and Christians also. Lohri is celebrated with a bonfire. The lighting of bonfire during this winter festival is an ancient tradition. In Punjab, the harvest festival Lohri is marked by eating sheaves of roasted corn from the new harvest. The January sugarcane harvest is celebrated in the Lohri festival. Sugarcane products such as gur and gajak are central to Lohri celebrations, as are nuts which are harvested in January. All of you know about gajak, right? All of you eat it, isn't it? The other important food item of Lohri is radish, which can be harvested between October and January. Mustard greens are cultivated mainly in the winter months because the crop is suitable to the agroclimatic conditions. Accordingly, mustard greens are also a winter produce. It is traditional to eat gajak, sarson ka saag with makke ki roti, radish, groundnuts and jaggery. It is also traditional to eat til rice, which is made by mixing jaggery, sesame seeds and rice. Students, in some places this dish is called tricholi. Students, one interesting fact, it is not only celebrated in India but also celebrated in Pakistan with great pomp. Onam. Onam is an annual holiday and festival celebrated in southern Indian state of Kerala. According to legends, the festival is celebrated to commemorate King Mahabali, whose spirit is said to visit Kerala at the time of Onam. Onam is a major annual event for Malayali people in and outside Kerala. It is a harvest festival. Onam celebrations include boat races, tiger dances, flower rangoli, worship, women's dance, mask dance, martial arts, music, plantain offerings, costumes, folk songs and dance, and other celebrations. It is the new year for Malayalis. Onam is the official state festival of Kerala with public holidays that start 4 days from Onam Eve. Major festivities take place across 30 venues in Thiruvananthapuram, the capital of Kerala. It is also celebrated by Malayali around the world. Onam is celebrated as a cultural festival across all communities in Kerala. Students, what is the most popular thing about Onam across the world? That elephants are decorated and taken in processions. And it is just worth to watch. Vaisakhi. Students, in Punjab, they don't call it Vaisakhi. They call it Vaisakhi, V instead of B. Is a historical and religious festival in Sikhism. It is usually celebrated on 13 or 14 April every year and celebrates the start of the month of Vaisakhi. For Sikhs, the day commemorates the formation of Khalsa Panth of warriors under Guru Gobind Singh in 1699. For many Hindus, the holiday is known as Vaisakhi Sankranti and celebrates the solar new year based on the Hindu Vikram Samvat calendar. Vaisakhi marks the first day of the month of Vaisakha. It is additionally a spring harvest festival for many Indians. Students, on Vaisakhi, gurdwaras are decorated and hold kirtans. Sikhs visit local gurdwaras. Community fairs and Nagar Kirtan processions are held. And people gather to socialize and share festive foods. For many Hindus, the festival is their traditional solar new year, a harvest festival, an occasion to bath in sacred rivers such as Ganges, Jhelum, and Kaveri, visit temples, meet friends, and take part in other festivities. In other parts of India, the Vaisakhi festival is known by various regional names. Bihu. Bihu is a set of 3 important Assamese festivals in the Indian state of Assam. Rongali or Bohag Bihu, observed in April. Kongali or Kati Bihu, observed in October. And Bhogali or Magh Bihu, observed in January. But students, the Rongali Bihu, or simply known as Bihu, is the most important of the 3, celebrating Spring Festival. It is a festival that marks the Assamese New Year. It is celebrated to thank God for a great harvest season and also for welcoming spring. Bohag Bihu is a sowing festival. Kati Bihu is associated with crop protection and worship of plants and crops and is an animistic form of the festival. While Bhogali Bihu is a harvest festival. Assamese celebrate the Rongali Bihu, or simply known as Bihu, with feasts, music and dance. Some hang brass, copper or silver pots on poles in front of their house, while children wear flower garlands, then greet the new year as they pass through the rural streets. The term Bihu is also used to imply Bihu dance, otherwise called Bihu Nas, and Bihu folk songs also called Bihu Geet. Now it's time for the national festivals of India. Independence Day. Independence Day is celebrated annually on 15 August as a national holiday in India, commemorating the nation's independence from the United Kingdom on 15 August 1947. Students, India remained under the British rule for about 200 years. This day is celebrated all over the country. The national flag is hoisted at all important places and buildings. The main event is held at the Red Fort in Delhi. The Prime Minister of India unfurls the national flag and addresses the people of India. On this day, we remember our great freedom fighters who gave up their lives for the freedom of our country. Republic Day. Republic Day is also a national holiday in India. It honors the date on which the Constitution of India came into effect on 26 January 1950, replacing the Government of India Act 1935 as the governing document of India and thus turning the nation into a newly formed republic. The Constitution was adopted by the Indian Constituent Assembly on 26 November 1949 and came into effect on 26 January 1950 with a democratic government system, completing the country's transition towards becoming an independent republic. 26 January was chosen as the date for Republic Day because it was on this day in 1929 when the Declaration of Indian Independence, students also called as Poon Swaraj, was proclaimed by the Indian National Congress as opposed to the dominion status offered by the British regime. Republic Day parades are held in the capitals of every state. The main parade is held at the Rajpath in Delhi. You know, students, the President of India takes the salute of the parade. Many soldiers receive bravery awards and medals from the President of India. Defense weapons, tableau from different states, colorful programs by folk singers and children are a part of this parade. Students, do you know what's the meaning of tableau? No problem, let me tell you. Work of art such as a set of statues showing a group, etc. Gandhi Jayanti. Gandhi Jayanti is an event celebrated in India to mark the birthday of Mahatma Gandhi. It is celebrated annually on 2nd October and it is one of the 3 national holidays of India. You know, students, the Union General Assembly announced on 15 June 2007 that it adopted a resolution which declared that 2nd October will be celebrated as the International Day of Non-Violence. Wow, how great it is, right? You know why? Because Mahatma Gandhi always supported non-violence. On this day, many people offer prayers and flowers at Mahatma Gandhi's Samadhi, which is at Rajghat. You know, students, Mahatma Gandhi is known as the father of our nation, as he played a very important role in India's freedom struggle. The Indian dance forms are categorized as classical and folk dances. Kathak from North India, Odissi and Manipuri from East India, Kuchipudi, Mohiniyattam, Bharatnatyam are some of the examples of classical dance forms. Folk dances are performed during religious and harvest festivals or at the beginning of a new year. Folk dances are performed to the music of drums, songs and claps. Bhangra, Bihu, Garba, Dandiya, Ghumar, Lavani, Chow are some of the examples of famous folk dances of India. Let me tell you a little more about these dances. Kathak is one of the 8 major forms of Indian classical dance. The origin of Kathak is traditionally attributed to the travelling bards of ancient northern India, known as Kathakars or storytellers. The term Kathak is derived from the Vedic Sanskrit word Katha, which means story, and Kathakar, which means the one who tells a story or to do with stories. Wandering Kathakars communicated stories from the great epics and ancient mythology through dance, songs, and music. Kathak dancers tell various stories through their head movements and extensive footwork, their body movements and flexibility, but most importantly, through their facial expressions. You know, students, Kathak evolved during the Bhakti movement, particularly by incorporating the childhood and stories of the Hindu god Krishna, as well as independently in the courts of North Indian kingdoms. Kathak is unique in having both Hindu and Muslim gharanas and cultural elements. Kathak performances include Urdu ghazals and commonly used instruments brought during Muslim rule. Odissi, also referred to as Orisi, instead of D and R in older literature, is a major ancient Indian classical dance that originated in the Hindu temples of Odisha, an eastern coastal state of India, right? Odisha. Odissi in its history was performed predominantly by women and expressed religious stories and spiritual ideas, particularly of Lord Vishnu as Jagannath. They call him Jagannath. Odissi performances have also expressed ideas of other traditions, such as those related to Hindu gods, Shiva, Surya, as well as Hindu goddesses. Manipuri dance, also known as Jagoi, is one of the major Indian classical dance forms named after the region of its origin, Manipur. So students, do you know about Manipur? It is a state in northeastern India bordering with Myanmar, Assam, Nagaland and Mizoram. It is particularly known for its Hindu Vaishnavism themes and exquisite performances of love-inspired dance drama of Radha Krishna called Ras Leela. However, the dance is also attributed to regional deities such as Umang Lai during Lai Harauba. The roots of Manipuri dance, as with all classical Indian dances, is the ancient Hindu Sanskrit text, Natya Shastra, with influences and the culture fusion between various local folk dance forms. Kuchipudi. Students, Kuchipudi is one of the 8 major Indian classical dances. It originated in a village named Kuchipudi in the Indian state of Andhra Pradesh. Kuchipudi is a dance drama performance with its root in the ancient Hindu Sanskrit text of Natya Shastra. It developed as a religious art linked to traveling bards, temples, and spiritual beliefs, like all major classical dances of India. Evidence of Kuchipudi's existence in an older version are found in copper inscriptions of the 10th century and by the 15th century in texts. Mohiniyattam is one of the famous classical dances of India that developed and remained popular in the state of Kerala. And students, do you know? Kathakali is another classical dance form of Kerala. Mohiniyattam dance gets its name from the word Mohini, a historical enchantress avatar of the Hindu god Vishnu, who helps the good prevail over evil by developing her feminine powers. Bharatnatyam, also previously called Sadira Attam, is a major form of Indian classical dance that is indigenous to Tamil Nadu. Bharatnatyam is one of the oldest classical dance traditions in India. It was nurtured in the temples and courts of southern India since ancient times. Bharatnatyam remained exclusive to Hindu temples through the 19th century. It was banned by the colonial government in 1910. But the Indian community protested against the ban and expanded it outside the temples in the 20th century. Modern stage productions of Bharatnatyam has been spread out and popular throughout India. That has been done in different ways and have incorporated technical performances, pure dance based on non-religious ideas and fusion themes. Now students, that's it for today's lesson. Hope you all have understood it well. Stay safe. Thank you.